Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, man.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of No More Popcorn.
They know who we are.
Yeah, they've been here.
All right, today we're watching from 1991 the story of Ricky, a.k.a. Riki-Oh. Yeah.
I thought it was Riki-Oh.
No, it's Riki-Oh. If you go on YouTube, you look up Riki-Oh, that's going to bring you to all sorts of different things. Apparently, Ricky really was quite a hoe, but Riki-Oh will bring you to the trailer.
Go,
Yes.
Look it up on Pornhub. See what Riki-Oh pulls up.
That's a very good idea.
We
Pause
always
now.
Well, before we start, guys, we got a very special guest.
Very special
we do?
guest.
I met this individual under a bridge earlier today, and he really struck me with his presence.
Okay.
Really?
He told me about Qigong.
Is it? Yeah.
He could do the ball of clay. I don't know if you ever know about that, but
What's that?
it's like you feel energy between
like
your hands,
DBZ
like a ball of
stuff?
clay.
Dragon
Yeah,
Ball Z
yeah,
stuff?
it's a
Really?
real thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, he was doing that shit underneath the bridge. It was amazing.
Under a big
I mean, when he was doing it, I could see. I mean, I couldn't see, but I could tell that he really had something in between his hands. It was chi.
Was it chi or is his
It
dick?
was a chi.
Yeah, I was about to say, I've seen Patrick with
It's
a
a
million
chi.
things between his hands. And neither one of them rhyme with chi.
But he told me he said something like east of Tibet, west of Shangri-La. Yeah.
Is the second one a real place?
That's what he told me.
Okay.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I didn't fact check him. We didn't go to the library, and I didn't I go to the library and be like, Shangri-La. Can you look that up for me?
Sounds like something out of a Marvel comic, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. Like Wakanda.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, he watched Riki-Oh with us, and he came to kind of give us his opinion on whether or not Riki-Oh's Kung Fu and Qigong
I
was
thought
any
that was
fucking
Rachel
good
the
at all.
whole time.
No.
No.
No, don't ever tell her that. God, that's fucked up, dude.
Sorry.
I know things are dark for you lately, but that's so fucked up.
Anyway,
Yes.
come on in, sir.
All
come
right.
on in. Special guest. Yeah,
Hey.
don't sit on the mic. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't we have to state
He's a
that
Buddhist.
about?
She comes to say
We're not going to. We don't have any room in here.
Well, I do, so I'm going to be...
Wise Master, thank you for
That's
coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And what was your name? Can you tell everybody your name?
It's Dylan.
Say it again louder.
It's Dylan.
Dylan.
The wise.
Dylan the Wise? Or the White?
The wise. D-E.
Oh, the Wise.
Capital D, lowercase e, W, or
Oh.
capital W, Y-Z-E.
So do I get my money now or after?
Listen, dude. Not on the show, man. I'll edit this part out, and then we'll talk about that later. But right now, you're Wise Sage. Wise Sage.
Wise Sage is your name?
Ice Age, yes.
Oh, Ice Sage. Okay.
He's a wise sage.
Oh,
Dylan.
Wise
What?
Sage.
From
is-
Tibet, east of Tibet, west of Shangri-La.
Okay.
Why
He's a martial
sage?
arts-
Because it's healthy.
Brian, tell us about this movie.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit nervous to be in the presence of such
I can,
awesomeness.
I'm sitting right next to him. I can feel the fucking chi, the energy radiating
Yeah.
off of him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, the story of Ricky is Ricky is imprisoned for sticking up for his girlfriend who was about to potentially be gangbanged. And Ricky sort of jumped the gun, and he's seen the gangbang about to happen. It didn't quite happen,
Well-
but then he saved her. And he's in prison. No, don't get on your weird bullshit.
No.
Don't
So
do
he-
that again.
No,
So
no.
he gets imprisoned.
No.
And then he's supposed to get out of this prison. All prisons now are ran by individuals. It's basically like a franchise, like your local BP.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like your parking garage.
Or like your parking garage, as the movie
Yeah.
puts it. Yes, and this is also a futuristic.
No, a car
parking garage.
Car park is
Car
what it
park.
said in the subtitles.
That's true.
And it's all like that. I would know I'm from China.
Yeah. Well,
I thought you were gonna say a car park.
You did say you met him under a bridge. So.
Yeah.
It was a nice looking bridge, though.
Nathan, we talked
East
about
Tibet.
Yeah.
East
You
Tibet.
promised me.
No, so yeah, Ricky is in prison. We start off with with the whole thing of all the jails have been, once again like kind of franchised, and it's yeah. So I don't really fucking know where to go.
Okay, so the scene where the girl, she wakes up in the bed, she immediately screams as she's woken up and just runs up to the roof and jumps off. I think they were just gonna let her go. There was no gangbang or anything gonna happen there.
This is one of Patrick's little things.
That's what I'm having.
She just immediately just runs up.
Just run through.
Just
it.
let me run up all these
Okay.
goddamn stairs and jump off the fucking roof. Not let's escape, but let me escape to my death. No.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Patrick on this.
Yeah.
Like, they all seem like they were doing drugs in peace, and then like, oh, this girl fell over. Let's help her out.
Well, as someone who sleeps under bridges, do people normally just do drugs just in peace and harmony?
In China, yes.
Yeah.
Opium?
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
I would know. I'm from China.
Alright.
So this movie,
Tibet.
this east of Tibet, west,
Yeah.
somewhere in those mountains. This movie it's basically just it's like a crazy violent fever dream. It doesn't really have much of a plot. That makes any sense. It is just Ricky shows up in prison. He's super badass, and for some reason it's that thing. Everybody wants a piece of him, and he starts punching people's faces off.
Yeah, it's a very loose plot. Like I feel like it's intentionally loose so that they could creatively put in these crazy aspects into it. We do learn as the movie goes on that he was basically born with these superpowers.
Yeah.
And his I'm guessing his uncle, was that like his
The
uncle or
creepy
something?
uncle
His
that
uncle.
watched him
Yeah,
from
okay,
7
okay.
and
I
8
couldn't remember. Yeah, he
2
he
years.
only knew him for 2 years. He's like, I remember when you were just a boy, between 7 and 8.
Yeah.
And then I dipped the fuck out, and we got drunk under a bridge. No offense, nice age.
I mean, that's what they do in
yeah.
China.
Like culturally, like that's just what
They
happens.
just watched their nieces and nephews for 2 years.
Do you guys not?
Are you an uncle?
Are you guys not?
Uncles or
Are we watching kids?
I'm an.
You guys don't?
Orphan.
Are you allowed by any schools?
Nathan, you said they wouldn't bring that up.
Dylan, I'm sorry, man. Look, I'll get you your money later. I'll get you your money later.
God.
you
I gotta
guys.
find my cheat. I'm sorry.
That's just the last
Find your
time
center. Find your
Nathan
center.
brings a guest on.
You know, my mom always, my sensei always said.
What?
Dylan, can you tell us a little bit? What do you think of the horrid violence in this movie? Riki-Oh, he punches a guy's guts out.
Mhm.
He punches a guy's the top of his head off. I mean, it is brutal. Does that speak Qigong to you?
Not at all. No, not one bit. No. It's all bullshit. I think I had, what, 1 bowl of rice? And a dog liver? It's bullshit now. You need at least 7 Hot Pockets. Maybe 10, 12 push-ups a day. Plenty of juice.
Mhm.
None of that. No, it's possible.
I mean, is this kind of like possibly like some people teach the good path and some people teach the bad path? Maybe he was just,
Was the uncle on the bad path and taught him that?
I mean, the man was desecrating graves. A lot of tombstones. That's a lot of,
Yeah.
They did punch tombstones for training. They destroyed every tombstone in that.
Yeah, he had them all lined
for
up.
training.
He's like, here's your family for the last 10 generations.
I think the uncle killed, honestly, all of them.
Yeah,
That's why he liked that. I'm
And
back!
he just likes hanging out there.
Yeah.
It's like his favorite spot. Sit down, have a drink.
It reminds me of where I came from. Let's destroy it.
That would make sense because he's the last surviving member of the family.
Mm-hmm.
You want him to go to prison and die.
And the uncle
But
couldn't
he
even bail him
survived.
out.
Yeah.
There you go. Now let me ask you this. So in Chinese prisons, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that you've spent time in some. is it true that you have a
I'm sorry, I know
north-south,
we were supposed to talk about that, but
a north-south, east, and west wing, and there is a kind of like a leader of each one of those, and then all of those leaders are under the control of one?
It's a great question. It's actually more like we actually have like a northwest,
Yeah.
southwest.
It's a I was laughing more. Your eyebrow like was doing this crazy. That's that chi. He's casting his chi.
Sorry, Shangri-La. L'chaim.
So,
So anyways, before I was really interrupted, namaste. So actually, as I was saying, we have like the southwest, northwest, all that jazz, and it's just like with like the vice leader of the prison. There's like a vice to that leader, vice to that leader, vice to that leader. It's a big pyramid scheme. I mean, you okay?
sorry, a little parched.
Were the bathrooms that nice in the movie?
Those were nice.
Not at all. Not at all.
No.
No, we didn't have them.
Can you give us? Okay, so like Waffle House bathroom, YMCA bathroom. Like, is it somewhere in between or a little more extreme?
versus like hole in the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a hole in the
Hole in
floor.
the floor.
Yeah.
There's a snake at the bottom of it,
Huh.
God.
if you're lucky.
Now, when they were escorting prisoners down the hallways of the prison, and everyone's in their cells,
Right.
but they wanted to see what was going on,
Right.
were their doors just easily opened?
Well, of course, Brian, I'll do open doors. You know?
Right. Well, I mean, I was just curious because there's numerous scenes in this movie where prisoners are being escorted down. They're like, oh, I wonder what's going on. And they just poke their heads out.
Like the guards are just that. What I wouldn't say honest with you. What would be the term?
They're very trustworthy.
Yeah, trustworthy.
Yeah, as is all of China.
Mhm.
Get with the times, Hong Kong. Come on.
Okay. All right. I got you. No, that's respectable. Yeah.
Yes, as is all of China.
Yeah.
I think we got our
Okay.
respect for China quoted, and we could probably.
Oh, is that what we were going for?
Well, yeah. I mean, every internet video now you have to like pay some kind of lip service to China. But
I don't want to be the same as everyone. Okay, we got to be a little bit different than that, right?
No, we want to keep our channel, right?
Oh, yeah, that is. No, you don't.
You can't upset the Chinese.
Fuck China.
You calling it quits now? You don't want. You
don't
don't want to
Oh
give
man,
up.
dude.
You don't.
Dylan,
want
Dylan,
to
don't
I can't
fucking-
go back. I can't go back.
I want to fuck China. If
I heard
China
it, Dylan.
was a... If China was a chained up man named Andrew on a crucifix,
Yeah.
I want Andrew to die.
Andrew died for your sins. I'll have you know that.
I believed in Andrew.
I have no faith in Andrew
I
anymore.
hope he comes back.
Everyone's just bowing down to Andrew.
So this movie. So this movie, Ricky's in prison, and he's the tough guy, so he draws all the fire. You know, that's what happens. He's a tough guy. Everybody just wants a piece of
I
him.
don't think he was trying to be a tough guy. He was just.
Well, he's
wanting
not
to mind
trying. He is.
Yeah.
A
He
tough
just
guy.
was.
He just was trying
He
to mind.
accidentally drove nails through a guy's
He
face.
just wanted to mind his own business,
Yeah.
and then they just started fucking with him.
I actually disagree with that. If people would have let him mind his own business, he did, like Nathan pointed out when we were watching it. No one was like instigating anything with
He
them.
wasn't doing anything. It was just them
Yeah.
going, what do you think you're doing?
Yeah,
What do you want?
It's typical
Just like, I'm
situation
in
of like
jail.
it's typical situation of going into a bar and everyone wants to fuck with you. You know, I can get this a lot because I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
Walk into a bar, a bunch of drunk people automatically want to fuck with me because they're like, oh, I could take that guy down. I'm sure you understand. Like you're, king of Under the Bridge, and I'm sure that people fuck with you all the time.
East of Tibet, you talked about it.
He's always
The Great North.
well, he's always practicing his arts, and people see it and they want a piece of him.
Yeah, literally like that ball of clay. It's literally like
Yeah, he's doing the ball of clay.
yeah.
He's working his chi.
I feel like
No,
he's
like,
working
it's
his shit on
literally-
you. You've never been this nice
Right,
on a single
right.
episode of this channel.
Did he
He's
work
working.
your
He's
ball of
working
clay?
you. Yeah, you're a ball of clay.
Was the ball of clay on your
It caused my
penis?
sash to fall. price just went up. Just saying that.
Okay. I got it covered. It's okay.
What is it? Went from a
That's
half.
3 Slim Jims now, buddy.
Oh, okay. Man, I thought Nathan
What?
was going paying more. I thought he was going to do like 6-inch Subway or something.
Okay. Would you like chips and a cookie?
Can I get the chips and cookies?
Yeah.
Seriously though, you cannot go through Subway and have them. I don't know about you guys, but anytime they say that, like chips and a cookie, it always sounds like they're smiling. I smile when they say cookie.
I never eat
Is
Subway.
that just
It's
me?
so gross.
You never eat Subway?
No.
Oh my god, the tuna. We've talked anyway. Okay,
Yeah.
back to the movie. All right, so we've realized that it's not realistic for people to punch through people's stomachs and stuff.
Because it was based off of manga.
Okay,
Is it actually
is
based
this
off
true?
of manga?
Okay,
It
okay,
is,
okay.
yeah.
So,
Because I thought it was like the most anime movie I've ever seen.
It was based off of manga, same
Okay.
title, story of Ricky.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you happen to notice, because this came out in 91, like, I'm assuming the manga, like, predecessed it by quite a bit, or?
Let me.
I never read the
Let me try to
manga, but
find
like,
the
from the
year on
trailer
that
I
for you.
watched, they did a bit where they showed like the Gang of Four and Ricky and stuff, and they were still gonna do like a move from the movie and then show a page from the manga, and like they did a really good job of like representing how, I mean, as far as I know, how the
Yeah.
manga probably looked. And
Oh, that's cool.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I've like, even earlier on when I was trying to show Rachel a trailer for it, like, if I feel like every time I've looked at a trailer for the movie, it's been a different fucking trailer. It depends on which one I type in. Do I type in Story of Ricky? Do I type in Riki-Oh? Riki-Oh?
Ricky
Whatever.
Bobby.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby.
There was 12 volumes. It ran from 1988 to 1990.
Nice.
Yeah, right
Okay.
at the same time.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, not far after.
so based on
before
a true
this
story.
movie. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so basically Ricky, he gets caught up in this thing. He kills one of the gang bosses, like one of the North. The guy, he kills the boss of the North Wing because he gets challenged, and then he just sort of from there. It's just like we gotta get rid of you, Ricky, and you got the warden who's just like fucking Kim Jong-un look-alike.
Yes.
He's got a fake eye, and he pulls
holds
out his
mints.
eye. He pulls out his eye and eats mints out of it.
Mhm.
And
Which
he's
I
like-
don't understand if that's supposed to have any kind of like cultural reference or anything.
I
Or
have
significance,
no idea.
but like,
It's just supposed to just be weird.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
supposed to
Yeah.
be funny, yeah.
And I don't mean to draw us back, but he did trip that one gang leader. Like that's really how this all started. He tripped that one dude.
Yeah, I think it was an accident, though. I think he tripped him by accident.
No, he like tripped, like bumped into him for like the whole train incident.
Oh, like what?
This is true.
Yeah.
well, okay, we'll leave that in the
Ricky's the
comments. If you
villain.
guys watch this, yeah, let us know.
Because in China, the prisons are lovely. Not a bad thing about them. They don't take your organs. It's not true.
I do have to say, like, one thing that I thought with it, you know, because obviously we're using a lot of practical effects. This is not an expensive movie. Some of the stuff looked better than others. I think that this one actually kind of benefited a lot from the times that even it looked cheaper, just because it looks. I feel like the cheaper look for like a lot of the obviously like close-ups of like rubber masks and stuff actually made it a little bit grosser. If that makes sense, there's a lot of times where it does, it almost looks like clay. You know what I mean? Where like they're punching with it, and it just, like the face will like smear.
I thought it
or
looked
something like
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
The one scene where he punches the hole through the giant guy's stomach,
Yeah,
and then
it's
just
sideways.
everything comes out.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that was the grossest part for me. Was just that one.
I mean, as far as like the most cringeworthy part to
Mhm.
me would definitely have to be, there's a part where Riki-Oh is being tortured. Okay, so this is a good point to bring this up. So, along his journey, along his path, with him, with everyone trying to destroy him, and him just simply trying to survive and escape, he's constantly bound up by chains and all this other good stuff, and he just continuously busts out of him. And each time, it's very cartoon-esque, where it's like each time it's like, oh well, this thin chain didn't hold him, let's get a thicker chain, and so on and so forth. Where eventually he's kind of, he's put up against the creme de la creme almost, except for your final scene, and they've got him in this contraption where there's all these like metal poles leading up to all throughout his torso, all the way up to his neck and everything, and this the character, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, which we couldn't figure out was male or female. Not that it's actually relevant at all, but it's be interesting to know one way or the other. They take a fucking handful of razor blades. That was the most cringeworthy part to me when they shoved it in his mouth and all the fucking razors are coming out of his cheeks.
Hitting him.
Yeah. Duct tapes his mouth shut so none of them will come out and then start slapping the shit out of him so they all start poking out of the cheeks.
And the cool thing after that is the warden, who is the ultimate villain of this movie, obviously, the warden of the prison. They're torturing him. The warden just wants to know, what are you doing? And he never answers because he's not doing anything. There is no answer to why are you doing anything.
I'm sorry.
He rips the tape off and then he spits the razors out and they stick in the warden's face, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, because they kept mentioning like, what's your secret? And he's like, I'll tell you when you're dead. So I was like, I figured when like in the final fight, like he'd like whisper or like say some bullshit like,
right,
this is why. No, he's just rips his head.
Yeah, there's no like I said. I mean, do you guys follow me with that? I mean, it's okay if I'm wrong on it. It's just this is only my second time watching it, but I feel like it really was just sort of a loosely developed story that they basically. I feel like this is we've brought this up a few times on this channel, where I feel like some people have ideas like, oh my god, this would be super cool to see in a movie, and they basically write the script around that.
Well, yeah, they're writing it around a manga, and they're trying to hit these certain violent scenes, but it did feel that way. It just felt like, okay, we want these kind of kills. Mm-hmm. It's just a prison movie. We're gonna have as much crazy shit happen as we can.
It's even sort of like the flashback. Like I know I was explaining whenever it was going on. When it shows the Ricky's girlfriend and everything getting kidnapped, or we'll just put it that way. The first time I was watching, I felt the same way all you guys did with like, what the hell's going on? Because there's no clear depiction between modern time, like when it's happening, and this flashback. It's a hard cut, and it's like, what? Like, because you even said like, how the hell did he get out of prison?
Didn't do anything wavy.
That was exactly what wavy. No, I got you though. The first time I watched it, I felt the same thing. I was like, what? And Brandon's dumb, stupid fucking ass. What an idiot. Jesus Christ. Man. He thinks his mom just died of natural causes. That's not true. She killed herself. I'm just kidding. That's really dark. Anyway, even he had mentioned, he was like, no, man, it's a flashback. And I was like, oh, fuck. I didn't pick up on that at first, but yeah.
To his mom's death, or what are we talking about?
Oh, his mom's dead. We just joke around with each other. My mom's dead too, so it's part of like the Dead Parents Club. You're in there.
Are you in there?
I'm in there.
No, I'm in there.
Yeah, Nathan's in there.
Nope, not yet.
He's got like 5 parents.
Yeah. Each one gave a part of their DNA to me.
What?
Yeah.
He's Spider-Man. But with human DNA.
Yeah, but with humans.
Human man.
Yeah.
A 5.
So you could go up against Ricky.
Possibly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, Ricky's full of shit, so yeah.
Now, I don't have a creepy uncle that only watched me for 2 years, though. He hasn't came up to me yet to...
Tombstones.
Yeah.
I am your uncle.
And my parents haven't died yet, so... Yeah, once my parents die, then we'll see if the creepy uncle comes up to train me.
Dylan, I just saw you crack your knuckles. Was that like a super secret Chico move?
I can't tell you.
Shit.
Chico.
Well, this guy...
Chico.
Chico.
Rico.
This guy is so mysterious, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Mystery drips off of him.
Well, I mean, he mysteriously showed up here to watch the movie with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I brought him. I mean, I didn't bring him to see the movie.
I have a car.
How's he get here?
I drove him out here.
Oh, so you did bring him.
Yeah, I said I met him under the bridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
You never did tell me why you were down there, to be honest.
You said you met him, but we
weren't
didn't.
going to talk about it.
Well, they've already...
What?
Nothing.
Go on. Riki-Oh.
More like Riki-Ho, am I right?
Oh, you're right. High five him. Somebody with empty hands.
I got it. All right. So something that I've liked to bring up here the last couple episodes. It seems to be a recurring thing the last couple of weeks. Disgusting character of the night goes to the main warden's son. That guy's fucking. I hate that kid.
That was kind of cute.
He thought he was cute.
What?
Why was he disgusting? What did he do that was disgusting?
It was his whole demeanor. I mean, which obviously they're suiting him up for it. And I know you're trying to back me into a corner right now.
Like, I'm just asking what you
No,
found disgusting that he was doing.
The whole spoiled rich kid thing is so fucking gross to me.
We don't know their economic status.
But we do.
He could have been a mentally challenged child.
Wow.
Well, he's a gross mentally challenged
and you
child.
call yourself an ally.
No, I do think it was funny though. Like they've got him perfectly geared up in these like plaid shorts, way too high. The whole little, suit jacket sort of thing. He's just eating candy while watching, like, especially that scene where Riki-Oh was about to be like smashed with Tarzan.
Oh yeah.
By like the ceiling.
Mm-hmm. Don't tell me your dad didn't do that with you at least once.
Right? Yeah.
You haven't lived.
Come on, son.
You didn't like him in his pajamas?
No, it was just.
You did?
I'm not talking to him anymore. Why is he even here? Let's replace him with No, I did. I hated that guy. I hated him more than the main bad guy.
I feel like they really missed a chance to murder that kid in a funny way.
Yeah.
How would you have done it?
I don't know, fucking have him be eating candy, and then Riki-Oh like punches through the candy through the back of his head.
It's not hate.
And then he grabs yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, Sifu. I'll figure it out. And then he grabs the candy and then he brings it back and then he licks it.
Oh man.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
There you go. All right.
Something like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
He twists up into his intestines and eats it like cotton candy or something.
Yeah.
Or they,
oh wait, yeah.
What was?
Going?
I was gonna say they could have just shot him like they could have Ricky so many times in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had little machine guns. No, let's bury him. No, let's put him in this fucking.
He did walk through five. He
got shot 5 times.
Yeah, but like they had like I assume semi-automatics or.
They did actually because they were shooting out of the wall.
Yeah, I was going to see how many of those he could like embed in his chest.
What was the one leader trying to do when he pulled out his own intestines?
Oh, it was awesome. That's what I was about to bring up.
We'll die together.
He went, he went to kill himself. He cut his stomach open. And Riki-Oh gets down. He's like, no. And he pulls his guts out and tries to choke him with his own guts.
Which is common custom in China.
Yeah, he's like, we died together or something like that. And Ricky's like, the fuck we do?
That was a great scene.
Yeah. So, so the repetitiveness of the breaking through the chains, I thought that was a little redundant. I also didn't. It seems like one of those things that they were trying to like make it something. Like every time before he like started to kick ass, you've got the cracking of the knuckles, but he also does the wiping of the blood and the tasting of it every time.
I'm pretty sure he has AIDS.
It's just
yeah,
probably.
So many.
What is he like? He's like. Still got AIDS.
Yeah.
Like, what is he every time?
He's other people's blood on him, and he's just fucking licking it.
It's AIDS.
I can fight off bullets and
it's his blood. It's their blood.
He turns into the kid from the little kid from Jurassic Park. Isn't that maybe The Cure? He's like, my blood is poison. My blood is poison. You guys ever seen The Cure? Oh my god, it'll rip your heart out.
No,
it's such a good fucking movie. Anyway,
by Riki-Oh.
Anyway, so yeah, I was kind of.
Do it anyway. I could, but sorry, I won't.
I was kind of wondering, like, if it was supposed to like signify something, if there was something deeper that I wasn't getting, or if it is just like, oh hey, that looks cool, do that again,
Well, I think that's got to be a Bruce Lee thing. He used to he did that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he would do that thing, but they just like took it. They just did it too many times.
Did it too much?
Yeah. Bruce Lee did it one time, and then they did it every single time he fights. He does that.
By the end of the film, he's just like.
He's like, he's got the little kid. He's like, licking his face.
Did the guards to you guys? Because it did to me. They all looked a little. And felt like.
I also noticed that, Patrick.
My Sifu is very observant.
Got eyes like a hawk.
Yeah.
Just like Mama
Yeah,
makes
well,
the
Asian.
sensei was told.
No, they seem kind of homosexual to me.
What?
Like,
Okay.
all right,
You're
so
gonna have to get used to this
so-
if you're gonna visit again. And Patrick always has these weird
here's my
analysis.
thing.
Yeah.
These guards, they're all super skinny. Several of these scenes, yes, they were.
Well,
No,
yeah,
hey.
they were all definitely.
And then
Not
there's-
all gays are skinny.
I'm okay. Well, that was the first off. I was like, that's rather odd. You guys are hiring all these super skinny guards. That's weird. And then a few of them, like, they were kind of like when they would run, they had like their arm out to the side,
Patrick,
like
get
this,
in the
going up.
shot, lean in a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just going up the stairs, running up like that. It was weird. It was a little
Lean
bit.
into Brian a little bit. Lean
It was-
into Brian.
No, he
It
doesn't like
was-
the guards apparently.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
A little bit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. They were all definitely very skinny though.
Yeah,
that
useless.
is true. Yeah, they were definitely skinny and useless. I don't know about the gays.
Some of them, how they ran was.
I mean, I feel like skinny and useless in comparison to some extremely buff dudes.
Yeah, that guy's.
I wouldn't put them as in like Holocaust fucking skinny.
That guy's
You know
traps.
what I mean?
were like the guy had cobra traps. They were
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
just-
it was fucking ripped.
If you're running this giant prison with all these people, why are you going to hire these kind of guards?
Oh,
That's
what do
all
you
I'm
mean
saying.
these kind of guards, Patrick?
These skinny dudes. I would
Right.
imagine you would need bigger guys that know how to fight people.
Well, I kind of anytime I see a gory movie now, I always go back and kind of compare it to Tokyo Gore Police because that's sort of like, to me, that's like the gory Bible.
That's your template.
Yeah, and this does some really awesome shit. It does some cool stuff that is not even in that movie. Like when he punches the top of the guy's head off,
Mhm.
and then you see the top half with the eyes land on the ground. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
something I would like to try to do one day.
Yeah,
I can show you.
he can,
You can?
he'll train you.
Yeah.
Just
Nice.
How much does it cost?
You got any Twinkies?
I can get you some.
I'll meet you at dawn.
All right. Dawn?
Dawn
Yes.
under the bridge
Okay.
downtown.
I mean, as long if he's driving, it could be a lot sooner.
Oh. Okay. All right.
But
Well,
yeah.
let's do this after the show. This gas station right next to here.
This, if you're into that kind of funny, ridiculous gore, this movie, like Dead Life.
Yes,
This
I'm glad,
movie's got it.
I'm glad you said funny because I do. When you look it up online, it is classified depending on which site you go to, but it is more or less classified as mystery, comedy,
mystery
crime thriller.
We don't know what's going on. It's a mystery.
It is though. Yeah, yeah.
Classified as
So I
mystery.
mean, they're definitely there's too much stuff in it to dismiss the comedy factor. Like there's clearly intentional comedy, I think, put into this. I feel like it's very few and far between. You know what I mean? As far as scenes, like you have the mints and the eyeball.
I did read in the German version they changed that to drugs.
I'm sorry.
For the subtitles.
My mind was just going.
Yeah.
I read that they changed
Yeah.
the German.
Yeah, and so
it's
in
actually
in
Jews.
the
instead.
German release,
he pulls out his eye.
they changed it
It's like,
from
would you like a
mints.
Jew?
So the part where he's like,
I was thinking Jews in prison.
it's like the part where he's like, oh, these mints are crap. It's like, oh, these drugs are crap today.
Yes. They had changed the translation into drugs, is what they.
Well, I was
Okay,
wondering.
yeah.
I was wondering about that translation if he meant drugs, but the guy said something about that made you think it was more actually about mints later
Yeah.
on. I can't
Oh,
remember
he was
what
like
it was.
their.
Oh, he says his mints.
Yeah, well, he says
Well,
that
no.
they've gone like sour. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
yeah,
he said
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Just like your drugs do.
Now, now, actually, something to point out for the people watching. So, we watched it dubbed, just honestly solely because I thought the dubbing was fucking hysterical. I haven't seen it in Chinese with the,
Yeah, we usually don't dub.
We
but
usually don't
For
dub.
this movie, I feel like.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
it was
that's the best way
fucking
to go.
great.
I mean, we didn't have to. I could have told you all what they were saying.
Could have interpreted or not interpreted, but
I
Translated.
speak it,
translated.
so yeah, I could.
Yeah. Well, let's hear a little.
Yeah.
Do you care? Like, say,
Tell him what you really
Will
think
you
about
do
it
it in
in
traditional
Chinese
or
Cantonese. Cantonese.
Cantonese?
yeah.
Okay.
Say We are no more popcorn, and tonight we watched the story of Ricky, aka Riki-Oh.
All right. We are no more popcorn. Jing
Ching Pao.
I like it. That's
Thank you.
good.
Story.
Well, I'm glad you like my culture,
Thank you,
Brian.
Seafood.
Thank you.
Are you saying seafood or seafood?
Seafood.
That's what I kept thinking too. I was like,
Say, if we're getting that afterwards.
Guys,
Is seafood like
Sensei is
waifu?
Japanese. Seafood is Chinese.
So it's like is that the male version of waifu?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Kind of.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys don't know fucking anything about it.
Hey man, listen here, dude.
I'm here to learn.
I'm fucking red, white, and
Fucking
blue.
hillbillies.
Goddammit. Hey man, look, dude. You stay on your side of the wall. I'll stay on mine. Jesus.
Well, if we could
Christ.
get it built first, we
Yeah,
can say
goddamn.
that.
Hey man, it starts here. It starts here, motherfucker.
I mean, we have one Mongolian still keep getting through, and the Americans. Everyone, honestly.
So Rachel and I are talking about having a taco bar at our wedding, and I was telling her, I was like, I want to do it
Cultural
only
appropriation.
one condition. I was like, we're gonna set up ladders, and you have to go to the top of the spot to reach over and get your fucking
You gotta earn
taco.
That's awesome.
Do it.
I like that.
No,
But when you get to the other side, you get citizenship and healthcare, and then
Yeah, there you go.
let's see.
Here you
The
go.
taco.
or you only have a certain amount of time limit to put your toppings on it before the what
The
are they called?
dogs come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
German shepherds come bursting in. Oh my god.
Tearing your legs apart.
Oh man. Oh, what is gonna be great.
I just wanted the salsa.
Yeah.
Brian, I want to give a speech at your wedding.
That's never gonna happen. There ain't no way.
What?
I love you. You're my
What?
brother.
Oh.
I don't know what you would say.
It's
What?
already, it's already gonna be done.
I'd keep it safe. You can trust me, man.
We're gonna have
I know
a
what
video
you're
footage montage of our
Yeah.
times together.
Yeah, from no more.
Yeah, you guys
Popcorn,
wanna play-
Blasphemy Hour?
Yeah, you guys want to play that blasphemy hour shit, and my family's gonna fucking get an ass.
Anyway, if you're watching and you haven't seen Blasphemy Hour, go check it out. It might be resurrected one day. You don't know.
Yeah.
Let's go to fucking.
One
We're
last
not-
thing. One last
Okay,
thing. One last
okay.
thing.
All right.
So this does turn into a monster movie for just a moment.
yeah,
That's my
yeah,
favorite
okay.
part to be
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's pretty cool.
and I love all of the charm of it. The main warden, he kind of he turns into this super beast of a being.
Reminded me of Zombie Mom from Dead Alive.
Mm.
Yeah,
when she
yeah,
came
just
out
on
of
a
the ground,
little bit of a smaller
Grew
scale.
up. Yeah, it's not that big, but
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
same kind of feeling.
Same sort of thing. Rubber outfit, and all of that adds to it. I love it. I don't know what the highest quality. There is an Arrow video release of this, which I'm assuming is probably a way higher quality than what we watched on DVD tonight. But you still have a lot of the grain, and like we were talking about with the aspect ratio and the sizing and everything. I thought it looked great. I feel like I honestly might
Yeah, it
as
looks
well
pretty
have
good.
bought. Well, I feel like I might as well have just bought the VHS of this. I feel like it kind of would have been the
Oh,
same
yeah.
sort of feeling.
Hmm.
And I feel like a lot of times those old school effects kind of do better with just keeping it simple. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, I want to trade this for a VHS copy. Like, I would rather have a VHS, I think.
There
But-
was a goof in that scene, by the way. Mistake.
Okay. What was it?
So when the dude's like starting to change, right before that he takes his belt off. And then once he changes and gets bigger and bigger, it goes back to the scene, his belt actually snaps off. So yeah.
Okay.
God.
Yeah.
What a
Alright.
stupid fucking movie. All the praise I've been heaping on this piece of shit.
Yeah, this is going to
This
totally
movie.
change my rating.
I do wish the fight had lasted longer,
Yeah.
just because I feel like the other four kind of kicked Ricky's ass more than this guy did. Like, this guy just threw him around a room a couple of times, so everyone else cut pieces of Ricky off and stabbed him. And
I feel like this is a classic, and I agree with you, because it feels like they should have spent more time on that last battle. I feel like this, in my personal opinion, I feel like this comes down to this the very common case of some movies shoot scene for scene and some jump around.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I feel like this one was let's start at the beginning. when it's working its way through, and oh my god, guys, we're approaching an hour and a half. We need to cut it quick.
Probably right.
And I feel like that's maybe what happened.
It still felt a little long.
Like a
It did.
Felt a little
Yeah,
long.
this
high
is
school movie project with no video editing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Like let's take it scene for scene instead of working within your means. And I do agree with you, Nathan. I do think it somehow like I find it so hard to explain. The same with Dead Alive, where I feel like it lags. I love it. It's fucking great, but I feel like it just sort of drags from time to
I
time.
feel like when you get movies that push it so far and they do so many crazy things, they sort of fall under their own weight. You have to keep going with that shit. And any slow part, anything that kind of slows down, you're like, you've already established that this is an insane movie, and you're going to show this like one scene that is just kind of like nothing. It kind of, if they don't do it right, it just kind of just drags it down.
Well, see, I feel like, and I agree with you, but I feel like a lot of it is like the repetition. Like, so this is something I didn't bring up in the Dead Alive video, but like, where you guys were saying like you thought that the front end of it sort of dragged a little bit, and you've seen Dead Alive, so you can talk about this.
What front end dragged?
So you guys were saying how like you felt like the front end of the movie sort of dragged a little bit.
The movie.
I feel like I feel like the latter half, because it was so much of the same. Like it was like blah 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 blah. I mean, sure, the last like 10 minutes are great, and sporadically there's all this awesome stuff in it. But to me, it was like, okay, just more blood. Okay, just more.
I feel
blood.
like
Okay.
I feel like if the earlier part had been a little bit shorter, would you have felt that way? If it had been trimmed up at certain points, would you still have felt that way?
I guess like to answer that honestly, I don't mind the front part because I do believe, I do believe. I feel like that first half of the movie dealt with character development like really well. I wasn't bored during the first part of it, and I'm not saying this to like, be the what is it, like the term, like the devil's advocate or anything. Like I really do. I feel like the same with Tokyo
You're
Gore
trying to be
Police.
Keanu Reeves.
The same with Tokyo
To
Gore
the
Police. Like
Al
I love that fucking movie, but it does seem like it's like with Tokyo Gore Police, the gore comes straight out the gates and it is nonstop. And I feel like after a while, it's like it feels to me a little bit redundant because I'm waiting for them to crank up the volume because they've set their level here
In
at the
Tokyo
very
Gore Police?
beginning. Yeah. I feel like they've set their tone right here at the very beginning, and it's like how do you beat
You
it?
don't think
And
they do it in Tokyo Gore
I
Police?
feel like it has beats.
Yeah.
I feel like it hits beats, but I feel like it just kind of. And I'm not saying it's not a badass plateau. It is a badass plateau that they hit. But I feel like it just sort of, here we are. This is the tone of the movie that you're going to get, and that's sort of where you stay. Every now and then it increases, and sometimes it dips. With Dead Alive, like I said, you have like a very kind of tame, for the most part, aside from a couple of moments here and there in the first half of it, and then the last half is just blood and guts with entertaining stuff, put throughout it. But I do kind of feel like it just, to me, that stuff gets a little bit stagnant after a while. It's like, okay, well, lots of blood and guts, lots of this, blah 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 blah. What are we gonna do to intrigue me again? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
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 Okay. So that's yeah.
Give us your score, man. Let's score this bitch.
Okay, well, number one, I love this one. I think it is very funny. I think it's extremely entertaining. Like we were just talking about, it does have a little bit of pacing issues for me. I would have to say, realistically, with thought of watching it with friends or watching it on my own, I'm actually going to go with like a 4.5 because I feel like this is great background as well as it is great forefront with the right crowd. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an overall good
So
fucking
you would
movie.
like to play this at a party that you're hosting, serving hors d'oeuvres
Like your wedding.
and talking.
Like my wedding,
That'd be
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, no, I really do. I
We
think this.
should watch
I think this
a
was.
movie at your wedding.
I think this is a.
That'd be great.
I really do. I think it's a ton of fun. I really do. And a lot of that is poking fun at it, and it's also like just in awe of it. I think they did a lot of great things within a budget. I think it's great. Yeah, 4.5 buckets of popcorn.
Patrick, what do you think?
I thought this was a great manga, well adapted into a film. Most of those movies they just don't seem to be done right, and this one felt like it was right. Now, I've not read the manga, about it, but I feel like this is a great movie that animes can look to and take guidance from, for film studios take guidance from on that. I'm going to give it a 5. I didn't have any pacing issues. I thought it was great all around. Great comedy. The only issue I had was towards the end when he punched the hole in the wall and all the prisoners were just still standing in prison.
That's because it's so nice over there.
Yeah, they didn't run. He tells them, "You guys are free," and they still stayed in the prison.
This is the only issue.
I have to back you up on that.
The guards too. The guards.
I did think that the first time Brandon and I were watching it, we're like, why aren't they running?
Yeah.
Like, but it comes down to camera work, I guess. That's just,
I mean, he was already walking out. They would have had time to, hey guys, give us just a moment. We're gonna go back a bit so he can run towards us.
Actually, serious question. I wonder if it was language barrier. I wonder if you had like a bunch of different people from different parts of countries. And all that good stuff.
Well, yeah, because
no, I'm actually being serious.
Yeah,
like, what if it was like
the other prisoners? Yeah, when they're digging or not digging.
You don't think that's a thing?
They were putting the
all these guys spoke the same language.
Putting the dirt
Always China
back onto the prisoners.
You think it's hard to find a Chinaman? You think it's hard?
No, I'm wondering like how many different nationalities are working on set.
No, I mean, if I look at that last scene, I just see like, okay, they have the wall busted down. You have Riki-Oh walking out, and they go, okay, we want it. This is just a director's decision. We clearly they're going to be running out, but we want it to be focused on Riki-Oh. Riki-Oh is walking out, and we want to do the slow-mo walk where he looks badass. We don't want him to be overwhelmed by these skinny little dudes running out behind him. We want you to think about Riki-Oh. So we'll just have him. We'll have him cheering in the background, staying there, and then people are just going to assume that, yeah, of course, they're going to follow along later, but he wants it to be focused on Riki-Oh walking out. He doesn't want you to be overly distracted by people pouring out around him. Because it's not about them. It's about Riki-Oh. His name is in the fucking title. They don't care about the other people.
What was your name again?
I was just thinking of
DeWise
shot.
What?
Was it DeWise?
Yeah.
Okay. So in China, if you kill the warden, does that automatically make you free?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
That was like the only realistic part of the whole movie.
It's like a rule.
Okay.
You don't have that here?
Strongest rules.
No.
I mean, honestly, I'd argue, besides... Well, no, I'd argue, yeah, Riki-Oh's actually the villain. I mean, think about it. I mean, for all we know, those hoodlums let his girlfriend go, kills him.
She killed herself.
This is true.
You're
With the guilt of being with a schmuck.
You're so wise, Sifu.
Thank you.
Sweet.
My young dumpling. And then, of course, starts the fight, the whole thing. He brings it on himself, to be honest. I mean...
What would you give the film?
In all honesty, I probably would give it like a 5, just because it's one of those movies you can just turn your brain off, enjoy the ridiculous effects and blood and humor, and yeah, I'll give it a 5 for sure.
Nice.
Good. Nathan here.
Yeah, I feel like I give out 5s too often, but I still lean toward 5, even though I thought it kind of got stretched out a little too long. I still look at, I mean, some of the shit in this movie I have not seen before, and we've seen a lot of these movies now. And when the guy fucking, when he cuts his own stomach out and tries to strangle a guy with his own guts, that's pretty awesome.
I've done that.
Let's come to a
I
good
gotta
old-fashioned Baldwin Christmas.
learn from this guy.
Oh, God.
Take the guts out around the tree. So yeah, that's a pretty high score for Riki-Oh.
Yeah.
Is it 5?
Yeah,
Five.
three fives and a 4.5.
Huh?
Yeah.
Brian always gonna take us down, huh?
Yeah, no, I mean, I like it a lot. I thought it was awesome. I mean, I feel like 4.5 is a pretty fucking good score.
You know what I do like is we reached 50 subscribers.
We did.
Now we just gotta pick a subscriber.
Yep.
Let's pull
All right.
out from this master list here.
Oh, you've got it pulled up?
I can. It won't take me long.
All right.
Hours later.
Master.
So while he's pulling that up, this would be a good chance for us to plug. You run a dojo, right?
Yes.
All right,
I
cool.
do, yeah.
Well, we happen to have a promotional clip from that. Let's go ahead and plug that in now. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right, awesome. Here you go for your viewing pleasure.
Come on down to Seafood Dylan's the dojo, the corn dog. You too could learn to be a kung fu master. Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, man. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Take my class, you too could learn how to do this kind of stuff. Where's that part? Okay, seriously, guys. Come to my dojo. It's down on 5th and 4th. Once a week, I'll teach you how to, like, rip someone's spine out of their butthole. Just, easy stuff. So go to your mom's purse, get your money, go to that location. Meet me up back, and I'll teach you something.
The very first person to comment on this video will receive the free VHS copy of Suburban Commando.
I gotta
First comment.
real quick.
First, you live under a bridge. You better not have a goddamn phone. I'm just kidding. I don't believe that at all, actually.
Nathan, can I borrow your phone?
Yes, Seafood.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah,
Did you have a good time?
At a time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You had a time? Okay.
Speaking of, what time is it?
Oh, it's 12:05.
12:05.
I got a guy. You told me.
Yeah, I'll get you there. I'll get you there, man. I'll get you there.
I'm that guy.
Who are you meeting for what?
Special lessons.
Special after dark?
Special lessons
That's
after
the
dark.
best kind. You can't see all the crime.
No, hey, thank you so much for being a part of this and letting us realize a little bit more about this movie. You helped us dive into it a little bit deeper than we probably would have before. So thank you so much. Yeah. And we had a good time, right? Awesome. We recommend
Punch me in the face.
we recommend watching Riki-Oh,
Riki-Ho.
Story of Riki. And yeah, there we go.
Oh God! Oh shit! He's doing that silent shit. Oh my God!
Was there razor blades in
I'm
here?
not even looking.
Holy shit!
Is that salon?
Yeah,
clear
it was a
salon.
salon, man. Ooh, God damn.
Salute.
Oh, God.